Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Gabriella. Welcome to the third installment of showing my arts. This was originally going to be part of the second part of my portfolio tour, but I didn't want the video to be so long, so here we go. Right off the bat, I can tell you that I'm not really a sketchbook person. I much more prefer to work on loose sheets of paper. And but I have some sketchbooks that I use every now and then, and because my main focus is usually paper, and I'm very picky about what paper I choose to use for each medium. I'm not very committed to certain sketchbooks, and I'm also not really into this like sketchbook aesthetic thing that is very popular on YouTube. I also prefer to work in larger format these days, at least A4 size. And if I'm working A4, then I would much rather choose like a good quality watercolor paper and create like a finished piece. So all of these sketchbooks that you can see here are my current sketchbooks, and I use all of them for different purposes. And first thing first, I will show you kind of like the most important sketchbooks that I have, which are these very basic, either Fabriano 1264 sketch papers or the Kenson sketch paper, which is it's essentially the same thing, like the same 90 GSM sketch paper. Of course, it's not good for painting. The reason why I like to have these is because I will use them. This is kind of like experimenting to see what medium I like to use and how I like to use it for a larger, more finished piece. Also, something very important, and that has to do with this font for the most part. This is kind of like my main sketchbook or sketch paper. You probably see in that most of my videos, I don't do a lot of sketching. Usually I just take out a piece of paper that already has like a finished sketch on it, and then I will start painting. And basically I use this paper as transfer paper. And how I like to use it, simply, like, these are spoiler, these are all future videos that are coming out hopefully in February. That I will take out my erasable colored pencils and create a sketch, and then I will use a really soft graphite on the other side of the page and transfer it to the good quality watercolor paper or mixed media paper, whichever I am using. And I usually keep it as long as I'm working on the other piece, just in case I mess it up. Because, like, for instance, the first painting that I did using the new Inktense Exile blocks, that winter scene, I actually messed it up the first time around, and I had this original sketch, so I simply transferred it to another watercolor paper and I created a second one. The good thing about this one is I don't have to start all over again. It's not like, oh, everything is lost. This is pretty time consuming to do these sketches, so I will keep them just in case I need to transfer them a second time. I'm not going to waste expensive paper, and also I will have an idea of what I want to do. So to me, these are kind of like I can live without all the rest. These are very important for me. Okay, let's move them out of the way. The other thing is that if I use sketchbooks, I simply have a couple of watercolor sketchbooks that I use for finished pieces. Many of my videos were from, yeah, both of these are these are not, maybe I have some more. Yeah, this is also a video on my channel. This is a very affordable watercolor sketchbook. Fabriano 1264 is actually the cheapest watercolor paper that I can get here where I live. It's very affordable, and it's like, for me, this is like a very low pressure watercolor sketchbook, so I'm not too precious about it. I can try out different things. Like, for instance, here I mixed Inktense with graphitins. This is charcoal, watercolor pencils, These are some cheaper watercolor paints with graphitints, Durban charcoals with watercolors. Like, even though these are finished pieces, I use these to experiment without the pressure of worrying to waste expensive paper. If I ever finish this, then good, but if I don't, then that's fine, you know? It's like, to me, this is kind of like a mixed media practice sketchbook. Same goes for this one. I started this Hanemula bamboo mixed media sketchbook earlier this year. And this is also kind of a low pressure watercolor / mixed media sketchbook that I used for reviews. Like, for instance, this was a review video. This is also a fall painting that I recently did in mixed media. And this was also a review on my channel. And this was going to be a video that I recorded, I edited, and then I never released because I was comparing two products, Inktense and what was it, the Cretacolor Aqua Bricks. And to be honest, I didn't like the Aqua Bricks at all, and I just didn't want to put out like a negative review, so I never released it. Same like the Fabriano sketchbook, it's kind of like a low pressure watercolor mixed media sketchbook. I also have Canson art book, which somehow uses Saunders Waterford paper. I'm not entirely sure how that is possible. Maybe someone can tell me in the comments. Now this one is the complete opposite. Like, this is the most expensive sketchbook that I have ever purchased, and I don't think I will ever buy it again. Not because I think it's bad, but I don't think it's sensible to spend so much money on a sketchbook. Like, I can purchase like an entire pad of artist grade watercolor paper for the price of a sketchbook like this, so it's not really worth it. But the overall quality, of course, is really good. And I use this for videos, some practice paintings. This was a video. This paper is very forgiving when it comes to the Art Graph VRCos. Art Graph VRCo tailor shapes are, I personally don't think they're as good as Inktense. And especially when it comes to mixing, I'm just not a huge fan of how they mix. But this paper is very, very forgiving. Like, if I ever use the Art Graph tailor shapes, I go for this Saunders Waterford paper. This is also a painting that I recently did. This is Art Graph VRCo with some color pencils on top to make it a little bit more vibrant and also for the details. Yeah, this sketchbook is pretty expensive, but it's very forgiving with certain media that are not necessarily the best on just any kind of paper. This, for instance, this is a fall painting that I did last year using cake watercolors, the Faber-Castell Kids Cake watercolors, and I think it looks amazing. Like, I would never tell that this is like elementary school supplies. Excellent paper, but I feel very precious about it, and the reason why it's taking me so long to finish this sketchbook is because I'm just so precious about this paper, and which shouldn't be the purpose of a sketchbook. Moving on, I have my oil pastel / crayon sketchbooks. I use these for finished drawings, for oil pastels, Stabilo woodies, all kinds of, usually student grade crayons. And this is the Fabriano pastel paper. I really enjoy using it for quicker pastel drawings. If I want to draw something quickly or make a video rather quickly, it's very, for me, it's like, if you make YouTube videos, you know how long it usually takes to film and edit a video. This is probably the easiest way for me to put out a video, because I can finish a drawing in here in like less than an hour, spend maybe 2 hours editing it, recording a voiceover, and done, you know? So this is kind of like my fun, also quick fix if I need to put out a video quickly. Some of the pages have been taken out because I had them framed, And yeah, it's not the entire sketchbook, but it's really fun, and I'm planning to finish it at some point. I don't know when, because it's taking me forever. And this one, this is the Paper Chase oversized A5 size, here, A5 notebook. 100 GSM Paper Chase. I purchased this in London when I was living there for £5.50. And it's only 100 GSM, but it's like a very good quality, reliable, to me it's pastel paper. Like I use it for oil pastels, and yeah, it's one of my go-to papers. I actually have a second one. It's very good for Stabilo woodies also. Like this is only Stabilo woodies, no oil pastels. Also this one, Stabilo woodies. You just have to be careful because masking tapes will completely destroy the paper if you're not careful. But yeah, I mean, everyone who says Stabilo woodies are for kids, I did this using Stabilo woodies. This is like my go-to reliable pastel paper if I want to work in a sketchbook and not on a separate piece. I have two more to show. This is the Royal Talents Art Creation sketchbook. Like I said many times on my channel, I don't really like this paper, especially for painting, because it buckles really badly. However, I tried Derwent drawing pencils, are very good on this paper, and also Stabilo woodies and Neocolors. This is done in mostly in Neocolors and Derwent drawing pencils, and I think I used a little bit of the black Stabilo woody. And to me, this is what this sketchbook is for. I can see a lot of people painting really elaborate mixed media pieces in art creation sketchbooks. For me, it's not working because this is a paper that I would never use for a more serious painting or like a wet on wet technique, because it just buckles so badly. But for Derwent drawing pencils, Neocolors, Stabilo woodies, this is excellent. Also, it's very quick to fill up a page in here. To me, it's a bit challenging to draw in here because the format is a bit too small for me. So if I work in this one, I really have to think up like how I'm going to plan out my art, because it's just way too small. And also this last one that you could see me use earlier this year for a couple of videos. This is the Hanemule bamboo sketch paper, not the mixed media paper, but the sketch paper. They have two. And this is only 105 GSM. It's a very, very thin sketch paper. And even though it is very thin, it's very, very textured. Like I was surprised how textured it was. And it's good for graphite, charcoal pencils, this is dry pastels. These are Derwent's Exile Graphite blocks and Derwent drawing pencils. Yeah, I started Inktober, one of the Inktober challenges that I never finished, and I was only using dry media. So unfortunately I didn't have time to finish it. I left it off. I kind of regret that I can't really paint in here. Also because the paper is really textured. Like even with the Derwent drawing pencil, like a lot of the paper is still showing through after several layers of colored pencil. So for that reason, I haven't been using it much. Here I tried out some watercolors. Yeah, if you paint watercolors, then it's going to buckle the paper really badly. If that's not a problem for you, then this is an option. But it's kind of a fun sketchbook, and let's see. I will try to finish it next year, but I'm not making promises here. Because what I'm using these days, Inktense blocks, this is painted with Inktense blocks. This is not my first choice. Also here I used Neo colors, and you can see that even with Neo colors, even though I pressed them down really hard, I still couldn't properly cover up the page, which I like to do because I like to blend colors and make it very painterly. So for me, a challenge with this paper is that it's very, very coarse. Very, very coarse. And also kind of thin. But other than that, it's fine. Yeah, let's see what the future brings. I don't know if I'm ever going to finish this. Also, it's not really one of my current sketchbooks. About 2 years ago, I did this for a while. It's an actual old book, like an old novel that I used for mixed media drawings. And it's usually opaque watercolors or gouache and Neo colors or Stabilo woodies, sometimes colored pencils. And I remember it being very popular a couple of years ago on social media, but then it just kind of disappeared, and honestly I lost interest. Also, it's a very, very small format for me. Let me know if this is something that you would like to see me do in the future. This is actually a video on my channel. This is the only piece from this sketchbook that I turned into a video. It's really interesting how it feels to draw and paint on an old book paper, and it really kind of forces me to think outside the box, you know, and how to use up the space and how to play with opacity and translucency, because the printed words are going to show through. So you have to be careful not to destroy the paper because it's rather thin. And also how much supplies you need to layer to cover up certain areas. It's kind of an interesting effect. 2-3 years ago, I was really, really into it. And this is not even the only one. I had another one and I was really, really into it. So this is something that I might revisit in 2024. Let me know in the comments if you would be interested in seeing something like that. I have shown you everything that I had at hand, that I had in my studio, because I have given away a lot of my arts, and a lot of things got framed, and I don't have everything. In the past 3 videos, I tried to kind of show you most of what I created in the past 2-3 years. So, and I'm excited about starting something new in 2024, also to finish certain sketchbooks that I have left off. Okay, so that's it for today. Thank you for watching this video to the end. If you enjoyed it, please give me a like and leave me a comment. Thank you for watching, and see you next time. Bye!